여러분 안녕하세요. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Korean Fluency Journey. 여러분, today we are going to talk about the negation in Korean. I know most of you are well familiar with this topic because we studied this at the beginning level when you started learning Korean. But I noticed that most students, the beginning level and intermediate level students, are kind of confused with these topics. So today I would like just to go over negation in Korean, how to make a negative sentences. The video is divided in two parts in order to make it clear for you to understand. In the first part, in this video, we are talking about an particle, how to make negative sentence using the particle an with adjectives, with nouns, and with verbs. I hope you will find useful this video and ready to get started. So let's start from the nouns. We know nouns are all the words that answer the question like who and what. For example, a computer, a book, a mask, or mathematics, like all these are words are nouns. So when you want to make a negative sentence with nouns, for example, we say this is a book, and you want to say this is not a book, or this is Korean, and you don't want to, and you want to say this is not a Korean. So in these types of sentences with nouns, you do this like this. So here the word 책입니다, 책입니다, or 책이에요, that's a positive sentence, right? And you want to say, and the second one is 한국 사람입니다, 한국 사람이에요. Korean. 한국 사람 is Korean, 책 is a book. And in order to form the negative sentence, negation with nouns, you need to have this formula. So noun plus 이 or 가 particle, and you need to change 아니다 or 아닙니다 or 아니에요. So 아니에요 is a like less formal polite, right? This is formal polite style. So when you want to say this is not a book, you say 책이 아닙니다. 책이 아닙니다. Or you can also say 책이 아니에요. 책이 아니에요. This is not a book. And we want to say not a Korean. This is not a Korean, or this person is not a Korean. So you say 한국 사람이 아닙니다. 한국 사람이 아닙니다. Or you can also say 한국 사람이 아니에요. So please notice this 아니에요 and 아닙니다. So we are not using this 안, right? Here we are not using 안. This is called like also negative particle, but here with nouns you need to use 아닙니다 or 아니에요. Okay, so this is the one of the easiest things with nouns to form a negation. So next one, with adjectives. So adjectives are words like busy, hot, smart, bright, late, or big, small. These kind of words are adjectives. So in order to make a negation with adjectives, you need now to use an. So here you have the an, right? The particle an that is placed before the adjective. So not after the adjective, but before the adjective when you want to say not good, not busy, or not cold, right? And then you, after this an particle, you place the adjective that you want to use, right? So an plus adjective. So for example, we have an adjective 바쁘다. Let me change the color. 바쁘다, which is translated as to be busy, to be busy, to be preoccupied, and you want to say not busy. I'm not busy. And you can say, first you use an, right? So always follow this formula. So an and then 바쁘다, 안 바쁘다. So that means not busy. Of course, depending on the context, depending on the style, you can change it. 안 바빠요 or 안 바쁩니다. Also, if you want to say I wasn't busy or I will not be busy, like depending on the tenses, you can also change. Like 안 바빴어요, I wasn't busy. 안 바쁠 거예요, which is in the future, right? And the next adjective is 싸다, 싸다, which means to be cheap, not expensive. So we say 안 싸다, which means not expensive. 안 싸다. And 안 싸요. Not cheap, sorry. Not cheap. 안 싸요, not cheap. Or 안 쌉니다. 안 쌉니다. As you can see, you have first the an particle and then comes the adjective. 안 싸요. 안 쌉니다. And the next adjective is 똑똑하다. 똑똑하다. So it is translated as to be smart, to be brainy. So 똑똑하다. So in this case, this is an adjective, so you need to say 안 똑똑하다. So not smart. So the same rule, 안 and then adjective. 안 똑똑하다. 안 똑똑하다. Or you can also change it. 안 똑똑해요. Or 안 똑똑합니다. Okay, I hope you understood how to make negative sentences with adjectives. So always remember an plus adjective. And the next one is the negation with verbs. So we use verbs a lot in our speech, both in Korean, in English, and any other language as well. So verbs are those kind of like actions. For example, we eat, we see, we watch, we love, we hate. These words are all verbs. So how to form a negative sentence with a verb? That's the same with an adjective. So first you use an, particle an, which is not, N-O-T, and then you use the verb. So an and plus verb. Always put particle an in front of the verb. Okay, so we have the example here, 먹다, to eat, right? To have something, to eat something. We say 안 먹다, not eat, to not eat. 안 먹어요, I don't eat, we don't eat, right? And 안 먹습니다. The same rule, you don't change 안, but you can just change the tense of the verb. For example, 안 먹었어요, I didn't eat it, or I didn't have it. Or 안 먹을 거예요, I won't eat. I won't eat. So you don't change the an, just change the verb if you want to change the tense. Okay, so 보다 is to see, to watch. So 안 보다, 안 보다. So the same, 안 and 보다, do not see. I do not see, I do not watch. 안 봐요. 영화를 안 봐요. 저는 영화를 안 봐요. I do not watch movies. Or formal, polite style, 안 봅니다. 안 봅니다. And the last verb is 사다. 사다, which means to buy, right? To buy something. 안 사다, not to buy. And 안 사요, I don't buy or we don't buy. And 안 삽니다, 안 삽니다. So always pay attention to 안. And then comes the verb. Okay? So that's the negation with verbs. However, you should be very careful when you have the verb ending with 하다. So verbs in Korean can be ended into two things, like verbs ending with 다 and verbs ending with 하다. Sorry for my writing, bad writing. I can't draw here. So you need to always know the difference. So some verbs like 먹다 end with 타, and some like 사랑하다 ends with 하다, right? So verbs ending with 하다, sorry, this is 하다, not 하나, 하다. forms the negation using the particle an in the middle of a verb, not before a verb. So this means, if you remember in the previous slide, we placed an before an adjective and verb, right? So 안 사요 or 안 똑똑해요. But if you have the verb with 하다, like 사랑하다, so you need to divide in two parts, the part before 하다 and the part with 하다. So, and you need to place an in the middle. So we don't say 안 사랑하다. This is wrong. This is totally wrong. But lots of people, lots of Korean learners, they say 안 사랑하다. 아니래요. So, well, Koreans will understand what you mean to say, but this is not grammatically correct. We are learning Korean and we need to speak grammatically correct, right? 안 사랑하다. This is totally wrong. 사랑 안 해요. So the correct version is 사랑하다, 사랑 안 하다, 사랑 안 해요, or 사랑 안 합니다. 사랑 안 합니다. As you can see, negative particle 안 is in the middle. Okay, so 일하다. So you need to also divide this one into two parts. So the part with 일 and 하다, right? So 일하다. The same rule, you place 안 in the middle and then it becomes 일 안 하다. So becomes 일 안 해요. 일 안 해요. 일 안 해요. Or formal polite style is 일 안 합니다. 일 안 합니다. Okay, that's it for the part one of negation with adjectives, verbs, and nouns. So the next slide is on your own. So you need to form a negative form of from these four words. There are some adjectives, verbs, and nouns as well. So depending on the parts of speech, you need to choose 아니에요, 아닙니다 with a noun or 안. And also when you make an 안 with verb, always pay attention to the ending of the verb. If it's a verb with 하다, so place 안 in the middle. Okay, so 저렴하다, 먹다, 학생, 엄마, 운동하다, 기다리다, 찾다, 크다. So these are the words for you to practice today's topic. In the next part, in part 2, we will talk about the long form of negation Korean, which is 지 않다. That's pretty simple and even simpler than 안 or 아니에요. So yeah, if you have any comments or questions, you can always leave below this video. And I hope and I wish you all the best and luck in this journey of studying Korean. Thank you very much. 감사합니다.